Hey, what is going on, everybody? ScottDogGaming here. Thank you very much for joining us. As you can see, we are back. We are playing some Football Manager 2019. Now, I didn't really do much 2018. I thought we'd give 2019 a try. Been waiting for the beta to come to an end, mainly because I did try and record a few episodes in the beta, and the games were just a bit all over the place. There was 2 games in a row where I had a hat-trick of penalties in each game, and I just thought I need to wait until they've ironed out some of the wrinkles, which is always the case with the match engine. But I've chosen a team. We are going to be the mighty Tranmere Rovers. I had a look around a lot of clubs. Sunderland were quite high on the list, but I decided Tranmere, mainly because they've had a tough time of it. As you can see from the history, many years ago, 1999 to 2000, etc., they were in the Championship, and then they got relegated to League One, and then in 2013-14 relegated to League Two, and then in 2014-15 relegated down to the Conference, and that's where they've stayed. They've been sort of hanging around out there for a little while, but then got promoted back up to League Two, and that's where we picked them up. So they've just been promoted back into the league system, but I don't really know what's expected of us just yet. This is the first screen I've looked at. History isn't great. You know, Checkatrade Trophy, a Welsh Cup, and a third division title. Capacity of 17,000 more or less, and you know, they're struggling a little bit. There's ScottDog, the manager. We'll just have a quick look at our stats. So I've gone fairly middle of the road in terms of our qualifications. I think we're kind of right in the middle there, and that we were a reasonable footballer, just to give us a little bit of a chance. And as you can see, I've divided my stats very unevenly in the attacking and technical side of the game, and over here, all down the bottom here, sort of very much focused on disciplining players, motivating players, and man management. So that's kind of where we sit from a managerial point of view. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. We are a very young manager, 24 years old, so we obviously picked up an injury. From that point, we never made it back onto the football pitch, and have taken up managerial responsibilities. Let's have a little look. Going back to our club, if there's anything else we want to have a look at. Training facilities are okay. Reputation's not great. Youth facilities are okay as well. Finances, let's just quickly whiz over there and take a little look. So at the moment, we've got some money in the bank, which is nice. Doesn't look like we've got any loans at this moment in time, but being in League Two, the money isn't going to be great. Our transfer budget, original budget, was 50k, 60% of the revenue made available, so we might try and increase that, although I don't know if we've got any players to sell. And we are currently spending a lot of money on our transfer budget, so we haven't really got a great deal more to spend. Let's just quickly go. I am using a different skin, actually. I will just point that out, that this is the noob skin down here. You can see just down the bottom here. So I didn't really like the purpleness of the other one, although let's just quickly whiz to our inbox. So as you can see, we've taken the role, and we're just going to have a look at some of these. They'd like to formally invite us to a meeting, which we are going to attend, and let's quickly whiz through this. We're not going to read too many of these because they're all the same. Sounds like a great idea. This is do we want to increase our knowledge? We absolutely do. Do we have any philosophies? No. And press conference, yes, we should probably hold one of those. Thanks for the introduction. Look forward to a long and successful career. I'm Michael Jackson. Nice. And I've got a few questions regarding the day-to-day running of the club. Would you like an inter-squad friendly? No, we definitely don't. Yes, we would like a report. And do we want to meet the backroom staff? We do. Would you provide players contracts? Have to deal with the contracts. We won't worry about that at the moment, and we'll just skip through this. So that's the end of that one. That's good news. What else have we got going on? Tactics, induction. So they have changed tactics a lot. I'm going to come up with some tactics, and then I'll just try and talk you through them at some point. But what we'll do is we'll probably skip through the pre-season. I'll play that off camera, and then we'll start proper videos at the start of the new season. Whether it be proper videos or whether it be we cut back later on in this video for the first few games of the season, and just a quick review of where we got to. Responsibilities, we're happy with us, well, taking charge of everything at the moment. Pre-season changing, there's been quite a lot of changes to this as well. As you can see, we're starting very early with some very physical and outfield training. We'll take a look at this, but I'm tempted to leave it to our coaches for the time being. Fitness report, we've got some people come back in top condition, so that's good news. Some transfers going on, which we won't look into too much because it'll just make us sad that we've got no money. Founded in 1984, Tranmere Rovers are a professional English club currently playing League 2. Tranmere booked their place in ScottDogGame League 2 by winning promotion from the conference last season. Club play their home games at Pretton Park, possesses good training facilities and good youth facilities. Club's training ground, solar campus, nice. I've always average coaching and fairly basic youth recruitment network. We are affectionately known as the Rovers, and we have a fierce rivalry with Wrexham, Everton, Chester and Liverpool. This was one of the reasons that I thought Tranmere, because I'm a Liverpool fan first off, but I thought we might have a chance of getting some of the players in from, well, at least two very strong clubs, so who knows. Come enjoy their best spell in the 1990s, now during 28 years, barren spell, having not won a competition since 1990. They have a history they can be proud of, runners-up in the Carabao Cup in 2000. Okay, Jackson presents our report. So good level of pace, good 4 options up front. Let's have a little look here. Wage budget, plenty of room for the wage budget, 1.5k. Lack goalkeeping depth, lack defence, right back depth. We're not very good at a lot of things, but first things first, we need to figure out what kind of tactics we're going to play. I tend to play a very, very similar approach in most of my games, but I'm interested to see how the tactics have changed slightly in this. I didn't do too much in the beta run that I was doing, so currently got 2 members of the recruitment team with a budget of 34k, so I can reduce it or increase it. Let's cancel that for now. Okay, we've got a couple of searches going on at the moment. We'll have a look at that a bit later. Although finding players is a bit tough, what I tend to do very early on in these games, and this is why I'm kind of skipping through pre-season, is I send my scouts out to scout individual players that I look for in that have just been reduced from big clubs, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of messing around in the team viewers up here, if we can find it. Going and having a look at a team, and then looking at their transfer histories, ins and outs, to see if we can find some people that have just been freed up to get some scouting going on. So that's kind of what I will be doing, and then obviously using the scouting options in here to see if we can find some players as well. Seems to be taking a long while to respond, but okay, we'll get on with some of this stuff. Let's have a little look at our team and see if we can find out where to go from here. So I'm hoping that we got a view that we can bring in. We have, so Ultimate Squad View. So this is another thing that we've downloaded from the Steam Workshop. So if you want to have a look at any of these, this will show us a bit more detail about players, which is nice because some of the views are a bit hit and miss. So this is, have a look at the most expensive player we got. Shamal George, I think, is probably on loan from Liverpool, if I'm right. Yeah, on loan from Liverpool. Highly rated young goalkeeper, so hopefully he can do us a reasonable job. Our most expensive player is James Norwood. Was he at? Oh no, I wondered if he was at Watford, but he wasn't. Forest Green, so we've brought him up from the conference with us. Was it Crystal Palace? Ollie Banks. I feel like I've heard that name before, but I don't know where from. Rotherham, Sheffield United. Okay, let's have a little look at the overview. Looks like he could do an okay job in midfield. Passing is fairly average. Vision looks quite good though, so that's quite nice. So we've got some okay players, it looks like. On loan from Doncaster. And then one thing I always want to know is who's on the most money. Ollie Banks, which seems fair enough. One of our centre halves. We'll have a look at some of the players that we don't rate very highly and try and get rid of some of the ones on really good money, so we can free up a little bit more of our wage budget. As you can see, we don't think that Connor Jennings is ever going to make it for us, so he might be a player to try and get shot of. And actually what that also means is some of these players in the under 18s might also be on their way out, because as you can see here, we're paying a huge sum of money to this fella every single week. Where did he come from? Huddersfield. And doesn't look like he's getting a sniff of being in the first team from what we can see. So, I'll have a look at all this stuff. We'll try and free up some players, which hopefully should then free up some funds for us to go out and try and bring in some players that improve us. But this is what we're going with. I'd love to know what you think of the team we've chosen. I'd love to know what you think our chances are. Let us know what you think of the skin that we've gone for. See if this kind of works for us, or if you want me to go back to the original. It's going to take a little bit of time to get used to, but our first game, looks like our first game is against Total Network Solutions. Oh no, the New Saints. Are they the same team? Is that a thing? Because there used to be a team called Total Network Solutions. That's got to be them, hasn't it? It's got to be them. Does it tell me anything about the history of them? How do I find that out? History. I don't know. Well, there you go. There's something for us all to go and find out. Are the New Saints the Total Network Solutions that I recall of old? Let's get our first scout underway, I guess. And we will see where we go from here. I will be back in a very short moment, and we'll maybe come back with the first game of the season. Okay, so we are back and we are about to play our first game of the season up against Stevenage away from home. It's not looking great for us. I think our odds of where they think we're going to finish is, second bottom, 200 to 1 to get promoted, which is not great. Let's have a little look at what has happened with our team. And let's start with the transfers. I guess that's always a good place to begin. Transfer history. We have made quite a few changes as time's gone on. Obviously, these ones here we can see these are the ones that already occurred before we came in. So there's a lot of players coming in. As we saw, Jamal George being the Liverpool player. Then we've brought in a lot of free transfers, some better than others. So we've got Thomas Gaydou here, who is French and is a striker. He looks like he could do okay for us. Potential ability is 4.5 stars according to our scouts. Current ability 2.5. So we've kind of gone in to try and bring in some players that are going to improve us in the long run. Previously played for Inter. I mean, granted, only for one season and didn't play any games, obviously, but he's young. Hopefully, will do a job for us. Al Hassan, we've also brought in. Al Hassan was at Lazio and then got released. And as you can see, 19 years old, 4-star potential, maybe 5, with current ability, not fantastic, but can play up front or on the right wing as well. That's one of the reasons that we brought him in. And then we've got Ionut Russ, who is a Romanian goalkeeper who was also let go from Lazio. Again, 4 to 5-star potential, only 3 stars at the moment. Jamal George then picked up an injury, so we've got Scott Davis and Russ as our goalkeepers. I'm not sure which one to go with to get the ball rolling, but hopefully will come on good for us. Then we've got Bilal down here from Morocco and previously played for Real Madrid and then got released, as you can see. Okay stats, passing, bit of pace, not fantastic, but the acceleration, the dribbling and the crossing is pretty good. And again, at 18 years old, hopefully will improve. Playing on the left with a right foot, so hopefully we'll cut inside and do some stuff for us. Then we're on to Carl Stewart. We had a lack of midfielders, so we did bring in a number of young midfielders. From Watford was Carl Stewart. Looks okay, looks like passing and vision isn't great, but can do a job for us in the middle of the park, and we definitely needed some more numbers in there. Ollie Moulders we brought in because we needed a defensive midfielder. Again, not fantastic, 19 years old. Came to us from Mikolova after being at Birmingham. And hopefully we'll cover in that defensive midfield role. And then just very recently, 29th of July, we signed Cassian Thomas, who, again, stats aren't fantastic at this moment in time, came from Fulham. But I've got some hope that Cassian can do an okay job for us. Again, 4.5, 4 to 5-star potential. And again, they're not on huge sums of money, so £230 a week, whereas we got rid of people who are on 400, 500, 600 to £1,000 worth of money. And there's some over here. We can see the players that we released. Got rid of Liam Rydhall for 10k, and then everybody else has been sort of on a 3. We're not able to release people just yet because the board feels like we haven't got any money to be able to pay them to go. But I think that's next on my list. Once we start the season, we'll trim down our squad, because when you look at it, look how big it is. Giant squad at the moment. I'm just trying to figure out who's best to go where, really. Let's move on and have a look at the results of our pre-season friendly. So we started with our friendly against TNS, and we won 1-0. Then we went away to Peterborough and lost to a goal in the last few minutes, unfortunately. At home to Peterborough and lost to a goal in the last few minutes. And then Preston we beat 1-0, which is quite a big result for us. They're in the Championship. And then we played Cinderford and Canvey Island and won those games. But we're up against Stevenage. We didn't have a look, actually. Where's the prediction for Stevenage? Well, they're down here as well, but they're still considered big favourites for our game. So we're going to have to give this a go and see how we get on. Is there anything else I want to show you guys? Tactically is a bit of an odd one. We're playing 4-5-1, I guess, realistically. Bad news, Bakayoko just picked up an injury. We're playing sort of attacking intent, but we are away, so I've actually set up this second formation to go a bit more balanced away from home. Shorter passing, playing out of defence, working the ball into the box, a bit of an overlap going on, lower tempo. Literally the only difference between these is a slightly lower tempo and a lower tempo, really. And then throw it long, distribute to the fullbacks, distribute quickly, counter and counter press. Out of possession, we're trying to get it back extremely quickly. We're trying to prevent any short distribution their end. We're getting stuck in and we're marking tight. So that's kind of our formation for this. Let's have a little look at our players. I'm actually going to put in our young goalkeeper. That could be a mistake, but actually, you know what? Let's stick with what we know for the first game of the season. What have we got in midfield then? We've got our defensive midfield, Karluk. Only Bilal is the newest player who's playing. Everybody else is kind of much of muchness. And as you can see, we've got so many people down here on the bench and off the bench. What kind of other players could we bring in? I think we'll stick with what we've got. It's not a fantastic lineup, but McNulty actually I think is a bit of a cult hero. Got some positives and some negatives. Touches to goals ratio. We're getting a lot of the ball, but we're not scoring as many goals as we could. I think we're going to go with this. I think we're just going to get on with it. Our first game of the season, Stevenage away. This is going to dictate how the rest of the season goes, surely. We got a few people lacking in sharpness. Norwood didn't impress me in pre-season, but none of the other strikers really did either. Okay. We should try and encourage the team. It's all over to you. Have a good one. Midfield, I really want you to get control of the game out there. Let's go. Here we go. So we're going to get started. It's a big game for us. If we can start well, we might have a chance of avoiding the drop. When we first started this, I told the players that I thought we could finish mid-table, and they all kind of just scoffed at me, like, "What the hell do you think you're playing at?" But I think if we get a good start, we possibly can. Williams with the corner. And pre-season hasn't been too bad, although the challenges hasn't been great. Obviously, the high point being the game against... oh, get in! The high point being the game against Preston, where we obviously weren't expected to get anything out of that game. Massive mistake at the back there. Not sure what that defender was doing. Who plays the ball across the box like this? What kind of maniac does that? Bilal, on his debut, gets his goal. Not sure who does that. That was craziness. Okay, here we go again. We're getting a lot of the ball. I like that early on. Buxton's in. Oh, I think it's hit the post. We still don't get a corner. Okay. All over them at this moment in time. Terrible header across the goal. But we are absolutely destroying them at this moment in time. They weren't expecting this, I don't think. There's our fullback, Buxton, to Cole. It's in. Oh, what are you doing? What are you clapping for? Made a change early on, and here they come. First attack of the game. Can we defend it? They've kept it in. Bilala's there to clear it away. Norwood's going to get there, I think. Can he hold it up? He can. It's a poor ball across the pitch. I'm not sure a switch of the ball is our forte. Cole's going to get in here. Oh, Banks, what a strike, Ollie. Is it Ollie? I think it's Ollie. But that is top corner. You ain't stopping that. Absolutely ain't stopping that. What a strike. 2-0 away from home. Who would have thought? Norwood picks it up again. Not sure about the switch once more. Pretty poor. We've got to see more from Stevenage in this in the second half at least. Oh, on the half volley, not a bad little strike. Norwood's picked up a booking. We definitely can't afford people to get sent off. Okay, half time. Not bad. Not a bad little. First half. We need to keep it tight though, boys. We are not very, very good from centres, I've discovered. Last time it was Bilal almost falling over the ball. This one just passed it through someone's legs. We're not great. Here they come. Could this be the start of a comeback from them? Williams is there. He's played it long. Norwood's going. Norwood's slightly outnumbered. He's having to go out wide. Ball across. Bilal is there. Get in. Oh my God. How do we not score there? I think the 60-minute mark. Now I will say that Norwood has been very good. Really good for us actually. Anyone looking particularly tired? Doesn't look like it. Let's just go with this change. Let's stick in with that same formation at this moment in time. Last 15 minutes of game. Not a lot happening in this second half, which I will take. As you can see from the stats, we've been pretty much all over them. We've had all of the ball. Bilal is in. Oh, he's hit the post again. Oh, he's had a bit of an unfortunate game, this one. Scored that early goal, but everything else has hit the post and come back out. I was going to think about making a change, but we're attacking again. There's Cole. Al Hassan, his shot is blocked. And they clear it away. Just make a couple of quick subs if we can. Just to waste a little bit of time towards the end of this game. Mullen is there. Fired across. Williams is there. Get in. 3-0 away from home on our first game of the season. Who would have thought? 200 to 1 to go down. I mean, please. Hasn't been a great performance from Stevenage. But we'll absolutely take that. That's very interesting. A 3-0 victory only puts us in 6th place. So I do wonder what else is going on. There we go. There's the win. Get in. Okay. We absolutely dominated them. Team talk. Passionate. Very pleased with the result and the performance. Get in, boys. Well, I got a couple of achievements, and I guess we'll call this episode 1. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not entirely sure of the release schedule yet for these videos. I think a Saturday a Tuesday and a Thursday will be the release dates for the videos, and they'll probably have 2 to 3 games in each episode, and we'll go from there. I really hope you're enjoying this. I'd love to let me know what you think we're going to do this season, especially based on that first game, convincing 3-0 win. Let me know about the choice of teams, any players you think I should go for, any tips or techniques or tactics or anything you want to see me try. If there's any players you want me to go and have a little look at, then let me know. And just leave me a like if you like this series and you're going to be sticking around to watch it. Thank you very much. Please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you again soon. Thank you.